Welcome back to the Acknowledge Me Brother podcast. Brother, how you doing?
What's up, brother?
Who we acknowledged tonight? We were acknowledging who is the star of the show. Let's do an acknowledge me to start off as who is like the star of the show. I think I have my pick.
Yeah,
Let
me
me know
too, for
yours.
sure. I think I got to acknowledge Jacob.
Oh,
Like
dude.
that,
Same.
dude, that man he's something special, man. Like
Yeah, how
crazy.
he moves is unlike really anyone WWE has right now.
For sure.
And so I think he's much appreciated on the roster just because like when he comes out, you're just like, oh, we know we're in for something special.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, let's get right into it. We're doing a SmackDown review. We just finished up watching it. I got caught up with some work in the last a few matches in between there, but we were both taking notes this time, so I think we'll be all right. So Cody Rhodes starts off the show, which feels like it's the story of a lot of SmackDowns, these days.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they started off with this. I thought it was definitely going to be like more like midway through the show, but they started off strong, which is good. I think I guess they actually did the same thing in Raw, where they started their. I guess this would be the two main events of SummerSlam tomorrow, so makes sense to start the show off with the two main events of tomorrow's show.
I expected Cody to come out. I didn't expect Solo to come out so soon. Like he literally called Solo out immediately.
Yeah.
There was no like he was like, "What's up, Cleveland? What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about Solo's go." And then Solo comes out. The Solo acknowledge me, man. It's not it.
I was gonna say that like
for the story, it's great.
Yeah.
But like as a fan, like if I was sitting there, I'd be like, screw it, I'm not acknowledging you, bro. You ain't the tribal chief.
No. It's almost like they're trying to make him like Roman. Like they're really pushing him to be like Roman, but it's just not working. Which it kind of adds to the heel aspect of him too. Like it kind of makes him more hated, definitely. But
yeah, I think that's the whole thing. Is they're just like, I think that's like we have that thought, and I think that's exactly what is being, being. It's the story being told.
Yeah.
I do like Solo kind of, because Cody does kind of have a reputation for going a little bit long in his promos, kind of like rambling a little bit. So someone's just like, "Are you done, dude?"
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Yeah.
I also really like how strong Cody was looking. Like he was actually looking good. Like he was looking like a champion. I feel like past couple weeks he's just gotten beaten down or watched his partners getting beaten down in front of him, and he hasn't really been able to do something. So now it's kind of good to see him like talk some trash. I loved when he called Jacob a dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah, that was
great.
What was great about that part to me, and this is something really like small, but like Jacob's reaction to that was like, so like,
right.
Like I feel like a typical heel would like overreact.
Yeah.
And he legit just was like, okay. And just kept staring him down. I thought that was pretty great. Yeah. And then we go into getting to find out basically that tomorrow's match is going to be Bloodline Rules.
Yeah. That's going to be so good.
Yeah. It needed
I was surprised. Yeah. I was just going to say, I'm surprised that they didn't kind of tease this or announce it earlier, but I'm happy that this has some kind of stipulation on it because I felt like it was definitely missing it for such a big match. At least it feels like a big match. But yeah, I love that Cody. He was really digging into everybody in the bloodline there. I loved how he was calling Solo a wannabe Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great.
Yeah, because he said like the tribal chief isn't here, like pretty much directly.
And he's gonna have to settle with a wannabe Roman.
yeah, that was great. Yeah, so overall, I think this was like definitely one of Cody's like stronger promos. I just think he felt like you said, like a champion, especially going into this pay-per-view. I think it was good that they've spent the last week kind of telling that like story of like them getting beat up and stuff, and then to have him kind of standing tall, like, no, we're both going to go at it. Like, I'm not going in like with a bummed up shoulder or anything like that. Like, it's going to be a fight. And now that it's Bloodline rules, it's like, what's going to happen? Like, who's coming out? You know what I mean? Like, who's interfering? You know, because you're going to have Tama and Tongaloa and Fatu there, obviously. So it's like, why do I feel like this is auto adjusting? Stop it. You're going to have them there. So, like, who are you going to have come out to defend? Is it going to be Kevin or Randy again? If Kevin and Randy come out, then does then Jimmy come out? And then, you know, I was talking to my buddy about this the other day. Like, he thought that it's just going to be a Jimmy return at SummerSlam. And I think it would be awesome if they did kind of the AEW, like, all in back in the day where like Adam Cole returned. And so you thought that was, or debuted. So you thought that was like the big hit. But then Bryan Danielson came out like right after him. So that's like a double whammy. So I think it'd be cool if like Jimmy returns, it builds to like something, and then either Roman or The Rock come out as like a double, like, oh my God. Because that second pop would be crazy.
I could also see, I can't remember what his name is, but there's another one of their family members coming in. Yeah. So I wonder if he's going to make an appearance too, because they haven't brought him in yet, but he also couldn't be ready. That might be more of a down the line thing for when Roman returns. But
yeah, how War Games is what, 4-on-4, or is it 6-on-6, or what? I should look this up.
Well, last year it was Roman, Sammy, Jimmy, and Jay. So that's 4. So I think it's 4-on-4.
Well, no. Last year was Judgment Day, wasn't it?
Was it?
Judgment Day.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm trying to see here. I for some reason, so it's 2 teams, but is it actually a set number, or is it just kind of like whoever needs to be?
I think it's 4-on-4.
So it was Cody, Seth, Sammy, Jay, and Randy. So that's 5.
Oh.
Versus Drew. No, yeah, versus Judgment Day and Drew. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. It was 5-on-6 or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So we'll see, I guess, what War Games ends up being as far as who versus who.
Yeah.
Because that'll determine kind of who's returning and debuting before we actually get to that, which is not that far away now. It's crazy.
Can we talk about Survivor Series real quick as an announcement got made?
Yeah.
It's coming to Vancouver, baby.
Yes, that's where my brother Jaden is. He's close, about an hour away from Vancouver. So most likely, I'm going to try and go with you, but if I can't, then I'm just going to send you to go watch, as well as maybe get some like content. Speaking of that, I am going to be actually at SummerSlam tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and get some stuff there too. It looks like a lot of people are going to be there. Shout out to Santi and Wheezy. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a great event. It's my first, other than like Mania, it's my first like big stadium event. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so next we got into Andrade versus Carmelo. Carmelo had like a little backstage like barbershop type promo. Yeah,
I was interested.
Which he just talked about, you know, being called Bronny Jr., which was kind of funny.
I loved the little like AEW like hit where he was like, oh, what did he say? He said something about switching sides. Like he went and swapped to the other team, like kind of referencing AEW there. I really like that.
Yeah. This was a good match, but you kind of texted me. It was a little long. Like,
yeah, it felt really long. They gave him time. I didn't know if that was me or if it like, but yeah, it felt like really, really long.
Yeah. Well, you texted me it was long, and then like it went another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this overall was a good match. Really, you know, fast paced. It didn't end like it kind of felt it should have, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I get they're probably trying to, you know, not have Carmelo lose like fully clean, but just with such an intense paced match to end on kind of like, I mean, it was kind of a roll up, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but it just felt like, oh, okay, it's over. And then Carmelo was like, oh, what? No. You know, to have that build up and to have that good of a match, I just felt like it should have ended with a clean winner. But I mean, I get they're trying to protect Carmelo a little bit.
Yeah,
which could mean they have something big for him planned up ahead. So
I wasn't impressed that this was another rematch from last week. I'm not really a huge fan of them doing these constant rematches every week and just seeing the same matches. Like, I'd like to see more variety. But I
Yeah.
mean, I understand for like building up the feuds and whatnot, but this isn't even going to be a match on SummerSlam. So like, why need to see it again? Like, we should have had some more build
Yeah.
up for other things, maybe. But I don't know. It just felt like filler, to be honest.
Well, I think honestly it was. Like I think
Yeah.
going into a big pay-per-view, they kind of just throw other good guys out there that are not involved in feuds. Yeah, so this started because of a Speed match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever
It's
watched Speed,
interesting.
if you watch Speed, let us know.
Yeah, I forgot about that, to be honest.
Yeah, then from here we go into Santos Escobar, which
Actually, I
honestly,
wanted to add on to something there.
okay,
I think Andrade has maybe some
Andrade.
of the best chops in the game. Like,
Okay,
his chops are wild. Like, I
yeah,
didn't honestly think that until I watched that match, and I was like, wow.
he's
And
a big
even
boy, dude.
Carmelo's chest, man, Jesus,
Yeah,
freaking minced meat, man.
he's a big boy. Like
And
I've
that moonsault into that like backflip splash was sick. Like,
yeah, no,
yeah,
he's
like you said, he's such a big guy, and he could do such like he does all the traditional luchador. Like, he's a luchador, but he's just so
mhm,
big. Like, you don't
mhm.
see that. I
Yeah,
love his style for sure.
and he looks bigger in person than he even does on
Yeah, I remember
screen.
you saying that.
Yeah, I went to an AEW live show, and he was still there, and seeing him, I was like, dude, this dude's as wide as a freaking like he looks like he'd have to turn sideways to go through a door. Like no joke, dude. It looked like his shoulders would be like, boop. But yeah, from that match we get into Santos versus Apollo, which is fine. I don't know. I'm just
Mhm.
so bored of
Oh
Santos
god, yeah.
Escobar and
Me
like
too.
El Fantasma.
Uh, it
I
it
just don't
almost
think they
seemed like.
like. Go
Sorry, I
ahead.
cut you off. That's my fault.
Go ahead.
I almost feel like they were kind of running low on time tonight too, because they went right from the Andrade Carmelo match into this next match, like with not even really anything in between. Santos kind of got a little bit of a promo, but it seemed rushed
It was
almost.
just part of his entrance, really. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the only thing I'm a fan of this match is really just because I like that they're giving Baron Corbin some time because I think he's been great, dude. Ever
Mhm.
since him and Braun Breaker were like tag team champions, and then he got called back up. I think he's such a great wrestler. If you look at his content online, he's like a chef that he cooks for his like family and stuff. So he
Oh,
does some
really?
like, yeah, he does some like grill stuff, and he cooks himself like meals and his family meals, and they look good, dude. So shout out to Baron, he's a good dude. But yeah, then we get into probably one of the better segments of the night with Logan Paul coming out to a homecoming.
Yeah,
Aren't you from Westlake, bro?
that was that
The suburb in Cleveland.
Logan's heel work is like either really good or it's really bad. Like, he's been a little better as of recent. You can kind of tell that he's putting in the work. Um, but I thought tonight was pretty good. Like, I thought he
There
did
was
pretty well.
one part where it seemed like he was like thought that maybe he had less time
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
kind of filled it with randomness.
Mhm.
Like I remember when he was going good and then he was like walking around. He was like, "Oh, I don't even relate to you people." Ha! Like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Wait, what's happening?"
Yeah,
Like,
it's almost like, did he forget one of his lines, or is he just like just rambling?
I really think it just seemed like he was killing time. Because then he does the whole banner unveiling.
Mhm.
It says "Yeah" on it. LA Knight hits, and dude, that guy is still so over.
Bro, it's crazy, man.
Like I thought it would die down a little bit. I feel like it
Mhm.
did for like maybe a couple weeks, but
I don't
dude,
know, dude.
every time his music hits,
This big pop, everybody's yeah.
yeah, it's great. Um, call back to when he choked on his gum because right before he started this promo, he spit out his gum.
Yeah, I remember that. It was fucking so funny.
And then he went right back. Yeah, so right before he comes out of stage, he spit out his gum on stage and then started. But then he goes into kind of almost like a throwback to like a rock style promo where they just let him like walk backstage through the
Yeah,
area.
that was great. That was a nice touch. I like that. That was something new that we don't really see a lot.
Yeah. And then one of my favorite lines is the Spirit Halloween line that he did. He was like, that head's empty or so empty that they're gonna put a Spirit Halloween up in it or something like that. That was great. And then Logan's reaction to him stealing his prime truck was great too.
Yeah,
He really did look like he had messed up and was like pissed off.
right.
He was no.
I loved Aldis's line about the dictators Logan had out there. He's like, so I looked up all these people on stage online and I couldn't find anything. He's like, hey, don't worry about that. They're important people.
Yeah, you're just not from here, bro. That was great. Yeah, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, are these really like the Cleveland mayor or something like that?
Yeah.
No. So this is where I got caught up in stuff. So we went from right here to Bianca and Jade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this was going to be like a real, like just giving them the belts back. Wasn't. Jade did definitely look better than she did at Castle. But then I don't understand what's her name getting involved.
She's the new Blair Davenport.
Yeah. She's like teaming up with them now because she was just feuding with Naomi.
Yeah, I put that on there too. I was confused.
Like last few weeks, she's just been beating Naomi up.
Yeah, and now she's beating up Jade and Bianca.
Yeah.
So it's like, where are they going with that?
I don't know.
Probably a three-way. Because Jade and Naomi and Bianca are already kind of like a trio. So they're probably going to go in that direction.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels kind of like...
Yeah.
It was part of the night where I thought they were going to have a legit, like, long, good match.
And it was good. It was actually... I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, up until the interference.
Other than Alba, whatever, I forget which one's which. But Fire and Dawn, their ring gear, terrible. Let me just say,
really?
Like, it took away from the match for me. Like,
you're just not a fan?
No, I was the green and all the different colors and like the sparkly.
Okay, look at you
finish.
fashionista.
Like, I don't know, man, that was terrible. I don't like it. I don't know. Like some people, it's like you have shitty ring gear and it takes away from the whole match because then I got to look at this hot garbage.
I never knew you cared that much.
You
better keep the same energy for the boys, all right? if LA Knight comes out in a bright yellow leather
everybody
vest.
just has. Oh, okay. Yeah, his trunks are never really usually good. I don't know. The colors that he picks are always just. It's not him.
That's funny.
Like I wish they had somebody that tells them, like people who work on their gear, like, or if they do it themselves, like some wrestlers do. It's like that ain't it, bro.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll see what happens there. Then we go into definitely the best. One thing I've been liking about wrestling so far this last week or so, or a few weeks even, is like the main event is like the main event. You know, we haven't had a lot of like crappy main events lately that I can recall.
Yeah. I agree.
So this one was great. Like, I mean, all four guys are fantastic. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Gargano was from Cleveland. I don't know why that escaped my brain, but
I feel like they touched on that when him and Logan had their little thing.
In their entrance, he was like, "Cleveland's like my home, my people." Like he was kind of reclaiming it from Logan Paul. He was like, "Screw Logan Paul. These are not his people. These are my people." He didn't say it, but yeah. So they kind of got a pop as soon as they were shown. But then that's one thing with the whole like entrance, like long entrances, like from the backstage, is you don't really still get that pop from like the entrance music. You know what I mean? Like which.
Because they're already seeing them, so it's like they're already giving them that initial pop. And then when they come out, it's like they gotta.
which I don't mind, but it just feels like they're doing that backstage entrance a lot. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they did it in Raw. They did this week.
And it's multiple
Probably
times.
did it last week a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for Jay's entrance, it's awesome because you're getting a pop either way.
Yeah.
And for certain aspects it works, but yeah, I think it does remove that kind of like big pop feel sometimes.
For sure,
But
for sure.
I mean,
I didn't want to
like,
add on something before moving graphics are back.
yeah,
Though I love those. The
for the
whole
SummerSlam, you mean?
yeah, the marketing for SummerSlam, yeah, all the matches, they're all moving graphics, which they
Yeah, they've
look
been great.
fantastic. I
It's
love that, man.
The day I saw
Bring me
them,
back.
yeah, the day I saw them, I was like, oh, these are great. These are awesome. Yeah, I would love it if they brought back moving graphics to the main shows. Like
Yeah,
that
right.
is
They
such
kind of
a
have been a little bit, but
it's such an iconic like throwback to like
Mhm.
the
Our
early
childhood.
days. Yeah, of like can't even think of one right now, but every match card will just be like,
Well,
yeah, they're fun. They're fun. But yeah, dude, this match, I mean, flew by. It wasn't like a traditional tag. It started off kind of like just going, which I love. But dude, yeah, let's just spend this time talking about Jacob, man. I mean,
just mark out.
I don't know if you qualify him as a big guy. You said that he's kind of like a big man.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's like a power. He's definitely like a powerhouse. But it's crazy because it's not really his size that implies that. It's just how hard he hits. Like every move he does, dude. And then there was a little pause in that Poison Rana that I was like, oh, what's happening? But then he hits it on Fatu, and then Fatu just no sells it. Which this is
great.
how you use a no sell.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't just throw it in matches all the time. Like some people. Will Ospreay. You don't just throw it in whenever. Like if you have a guy that's supposed to be this like unstoppable force type dude, like then this is when you have it. Like he takes a big hit, but he's just like, like I don't know. It's just it fits him. That's Tom. Yeah, Tom at the entry and at start of
tweaking, dude.
yeah. But no, it's just it's so good and it matches him, it suits him, and then dude, the sequence he had.
Oh my god, that was crazy, bro. It's insane. His finisher is crazy. Like no man that big should be able to move that fast. And not only just moving that fast, is he's jumping up onto the ropes and then doing a fucking black backflip. Like
a black backflip?
Black flip.
He's Samoan, my guy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like when he moved Ciampa, it was Ciampa, right? Who took it? Or was Gargano?
Yeah, Ciampa.
Yeah. When he moved him to the center of the ring, I was like, I thought he was going to go on the other side because of how like far away he was.
Yeah,
there's
no way, like gonna move him closer, and
I thought he was going to hit I thought he was going to hit a splash or something like that. But to do the hop up moonsault with him in like almost dead center of the ring, that's great, and he landed it perfectly, like literally like chest on chest
with ease.
Yeah,
it's crazy,
and
bro.
And that was like that was after the pop up Samoan drop that just looks incredible. Looks like he stabs them into the ring.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and then DDT, and that's it. New champion.
Well, the match was a lot closer than I thought, to be honest. Like it was
back and forth.
Like I thought it was going to be somewhat dominant from the Bloodline, just like straight dominance, but DIY fought back. Ciampa missed a kick, which didn't look too good. That must be terrible for both wrestlers in that point, because it's like, what do? You have to sell it. So it's like you both are just looking not very good.
I might have missed that one. Was it really bad, or was
it was pretty bad?
Just a
like
little. Okay.
It was. I think Ciampa went to how I should whip him. And I don't know, like, if there was a miscommunication, but Tama like stopped himself, and then he went to go. Ciampa went to hit him with a kick, and the kick did not connect. There's like a good about that much room just completely missed. I
Yeah.
also noticed, I don't know if it's Tama's finisher, if it's like his signature or what, because I haven't really seen him
His
wrestle that
finisher is
much. But it's like a
almost like
crossroads. Like, I don't know if you've seen that move that I'm talking about, but one of
maybe
his,
not.
it was like right near the end before he tagged in Jacob.
His
He hit like
finisher is
this
like an end of days without
crossroads
the
type.
swing.
Okay, then this must have been something else, but it literally looked just like a crossroads, but way faster. I was like, damn, that looks sick.
Yeah, no, I might have missed that one. Yeah, but new champions, and then they give the belts to Solo to hold to end the show, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
Like those guys are loyal, man.
he's just a power hungry freak.
It's just it makes me wonder what's going to happen. Like I really don't know what's going to happen to SummerSlam, and I love that.
Yeah, I don't see Cody losing, but then at the same time, like, how are they going to make Solo look good? Because they have to make him look good.
Yeah,
How are they going to do that? Because there's not many ways of doing that when you're also having to make Cody look like a legit champion. So
yeah. I don't think it's going to be a clean win. I think it's going to be or a loss. Even I think it's going to be something's going to happen. But it's interesting. SummerSlam is, like I said, like I love it when you kind of don't really know what's going to happen in a pay-per-view. That's what to me is when like wrestling is done right. You know, there's a lot of pay-per-views, especially during the He Who Should Not Be Named era, where like everyone just knew what was going to happen, and like very rarely did it like change. So to end off the show here, let's just go through a quick SummerSlam predictions.
right.
Because I'm probably going to get this up right after we film here. So CM Punk versus Drew, special guest referee.
I think I got Punk only because Punk I don't think should lose his first match. I know Drew also doesn't need this loss, so it's definitely going to be a interesting match. I think if Punk wins, it's not going to be clean. Like, it'll be tainted somehow. But I think I got Punk for that one.
Okay. I actually have Drew because I think Rollins is going to cost Punk the match. I think that's going to set up Punk versus Rollins for like Mania. It's going to start the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually start at the bottom here. Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Braun's got to win.
Yeah, definitely.
If he doesn't,
I agree.
I'm actually going to be very mad. Braun Breaker does not win a SummerSlam. I am going to be very upset. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And I want,
he shouldn't
want
lose.
him to like when he wins, hit like 3 spears, like break Sammy in half, like
Write
spear him,
Sammy off TV
pick
for
him
a bit.
pick him up, yell in his face, tell him you thought you could beat me again. No, spear again, pick him up, do some barks. Yeah, I want him to destroy by the end. You know, he doesn't have to destroy the whole match, but by the end, I want him to like destroy Sammy. Logan Paul versus LA Knight.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
If Logan wins, I think a lot of people would be very upset.
Yeah.
1, Logan is not a full-time wrestler, and he never will be. 2, pretty much goes into the same last point. He's defended it 3 times? 2
Twice.
times? Yeah, that's crazy. He's been
Twice
champion for almost 300 days.
Yeah.
And 3rd, he apparently has a lot of heat backstage. I'm not going to name the reason why, but it seems like there's things that are kind of falling apart with him. I don't know if they're going to do anything about it, but I've heard that he has heat backstage along with a lot of higher ups in the company, which is not very good for his case.
Yeah, I mean, just some political stuff, but we're not going to get into, but it makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And in the reality, I think he's bringing in too much attention to WWE for them to really like do much about it. Unfortunately, but I mean, the dude's not got the best past as it is. Like, so
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. So women's world champion Liv versus Rhea. This is an interesting one because I feel like there's so many things that could happen here with the Judgment Day. I'm gonna go Rhea just because like I feel like she has to get her belt back, but at the same time, like I think her getting betrayed by one of the members of the Judgment Day is like not off the table.
Yeah, I agree. I got Rhea too. And yeah, I thought that if she loses, it's going to be some sort of interference by somebody that costs her the match for sure.
Yeah,
And
like
then
she's in
that'll lead on
cahoots
to
with
a
like
longer feud.
Finn or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey versus Nia Jax. I have no idea. I feel like Bailey's been kind of boring, you know? Love Bailey.
She hasn't done much.
She's great, but I just feel like this is the best Nia's been. And with the whole like Tiffany having the Money in the Bank, like I feel like it makes sense that she wins and then Tiffany cashes in anyways and beats her. I think that'd be great. And then you set up like a Tiffany versus Nia Jax feud.
Yeah.
They could prolong that, but that's what I think.
I think I got Nia.
Yeah.
I kind of somewhat have a feeling that it's gonna not be that much of a back and forth. I have there's a strong feeling in me that it's gonna be like complete dominance from Nia and just like occasional Bailey coming back. But I mean, Bailey also is great, so who knows? But I kind of feel like they're finally gonna make Nia look legit because I've also heard things of her possibly being in the Bloodline and them adding a female member. In that case, they're adding the women's champion, and if she starts looking dominant and good, then why not?
It'd be cool. It'd be cool. Some sort of like seeing her back, like talking with Solo or something like that. Like that would be interesting. All right, then. Last one. Damian versus Gunther.
I think I got Gunther. And the reason why I think I have Gunther is I think Finn is going to cost Damian the match.
Okay.
And I think the Judgment Day is going to split up.
Okay.
Not necessarily all of them, but I think Damian is going to lose, start maybe a babyface run after he gets kicked out of the Judgment Day, or they just like betray him. Because there's been a lot of like foreshadowing from Finn. And you've kind of also seen Damian kind of go in like he's low-key kind of been transitioning into a babyface. Like the way that he's been throwing himself around, the way he like says stuff in his promos, it's like low-key kind of your typical babyface, to me at least. So I feel like they've been like hinting at it a little bit. So we might finally see the Judgment Day breakup on Saturday.
Yeah. How are you getting Xbox achievements while you're not playing?
It's going in standby mode, man. I gotta figure that out.
You're just getting achievements, anyways. Yeah, I actually have Priest retaining here, which I know is probably not the popular take, but I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna be Gunther's moment at Bash of Berlin.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did too, to be honest, until I recently reminded.
I forgot about that.
So I think that I think it's just going to be a rematch at Bash, and then
that
he's going to win
changes
there.
things. Yeah.
But
do they make Gunther lose back to back? That's what I was thinking too.
What do you mean? Oh, like, because he lost at Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because like if they made him so dominant for so long, and like made sure to make him look like this monster that's going to be eventually world champion.
Yeah.
For them to make him lose twice in a row? Yeah. I don't know.
I guess we shall see tomorrow. I'm going to try and get some crowd reactions and stuff while I'm there, and maybe do some interviews with people after the show to get up on the channel. But that's this week's. It was a little quicker just because the show's a little bit, not as long as Raw.
Darn Smackdown.
Yeah. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you in another time. I don't know what I'm saying. Acknowledge me, baby. Before you go. I don't know. I'm done.
Hey.
Do we have an outro?
And
Did
still.
we say anything?
And still.
Yeah. All right.
Still.
Catch you the next one, guys.